Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, I don't think I see any guests, but any guests that may take a look at this recording. The meeting of online presenters is beginning now. And if you are a guest, please note that in order to join our club, you must be a current or a former active Toastmasters International member and completed at least 6 Toastmasters official speeches. If you have relevant presentation experience, you may apply for membership after you demonstrate your abilities with a 2 to 3 minute speech delivered at one of our club meetings. Our requests for membership are subject to approval by the members of our club. If you have not already done so, please change your panel to ensure that your name and the role, if any, you're going to play tonight is displayed. Simply right-click on your panel, your photo, and select rename in order to do that. Please remember, we have members and guests from many countries all around the world. And because we are a professional organization, we're asking that you please be aware of language and word usage so that you won't be considered offensive or insensitive due to cultural differences. Please note, we are recording this meeting and your audio and video will contribute to the club marketing purposes. Also, please mute your microphone when you are not speaking, and please do not use chat while the speakers are speaking unless they ask you to. With that, please welcome our club president, DTM Lou Brown, to the virtual stage.
Thank you, Madam Sergeant at Arms, and welcome everyone to our monthly Speakathon. I understand we have quite a diverse crop of speeches, some lengthy ones, some practice ones, so this is going to be certainly educational. Before we jump into the meat of the meeting, let's have our new member induction for our newest member, Toru Maruyama. Please welcome our Vice President of Membership who will conduct the induction, VPM Marianne Grady.
I thought we were going to go a little later, so I wasn't set up yet, so excuse me.
No worries. Toastmaster, would you like to do a little bit, or do you want a little bit more time, Marianne?
No, I think I got it.
Okay, I was going to say we could have one more boast, perhaps.
Can you see this now?
Not yet.
Okay.
While that's happening, that's Adrienne. We haven't seen Adrienne for ages.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Hi, everybody. I'll be on camera. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
All yours, Marianne.
Yep, take it away.
Okay. Fellow Toastmasters, tonight it is my pleasure and my privilege to induct a new member into our club. He has been previously voted on by our members, and this is Toru Maruyama. This is an important occasion for Toru and for our club. As experienced speakers and Toastmasters, this individual will enrich us as we strive to enrich him in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Together, we expand our effectiveness as public speakers, dynamic leaders, and communicators. Toru, please wait until I call on you to affirm your commitment to the Toastmaster promise. In the presence of fellow online presenters, do you pledge to attend meetings regularly and prepare for each assignment, to actively participate in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner to build open, friendly relationships with our fellow members, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can gain the benefits of Toastmaster. Farouk, please unmute yourself and say, I do.
Do I have to read?
Now you just have to say, I do.
Okay. I do.
Okay, to the current members of Online Presenters, I remind you of your pledge to support Toru in his quest for self-development, to provide him with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, and to make his Online Presenters Toastmaster membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Congratulations, Toru, and welcome to Online Presenters.
Thank you very much.
Unmute and give him a big hand.
Welcome, Toru.
Welcome, Toru.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do I pick it up from here? Are you done, Lou?
Yes, sir.
All
Take it away, Dave.
All right. Hi, I'm David Carr. I will be your Toastmaster of the day for the evening. And in a minute, I'm going to introduce some other folks who are going to help us run a nice, well-organized meeting. We do have the tip of the day section, which I assigned to myself just because I had a few things I wanted to show you. And this is stuff that is on our website. Now, this is brand new. This is the Basecamp checklist, which is for you to record which speeches you have tracked through the agenda you have actually recorded and awarded to one of the clubs that you belong to. We were talking a little bit earlier about the joys of Pathways, or rather the Basecamp software that goes along with Pathways. And I hadn't logged into Basecamp in maybe a year. I had completely lost track of what I had recorded where, or whether I'd recorded it at all. So this I sort of invented for myself. This will keep track automatically of anything you've given in a club that uses this particular software setup, which is the WordPress-based software, with bolt-ons for Toastmasters activities. There is also a progress report. So if I just want to go back and look up all my speeches, I can look up all the speeches I've given across a couple of clubs. In the Basecamp checklist, if you're a member of another club that doesn't use this software, you actually can add them to the list. So Webinar Masters is a club that doesn't exist, as far as I know. And so I've tacked that on here. Now, I did want to show you that the menu when you log in for you guys should not be quite as scary as it is for me. There are lots of options that are only available and important to a website administrator or an officer of the club, but everybody can go in and look up their own performance, look up some other data that might be interesting. And here's a thing that would really help out your VPE and your future folks, is if you can go through, there's this multi-meeting role planner where you can sign up multiple weeks in advance for roles that you're going to fill at the club. That would be a great thing for people to find their way into that little part of the back end. And with that, let's get back to our meeting. As I mentioned, the primary role of a Toastmaster of the day is to run a well-organized meeting. And I have lots of people who need to help me out on making that happen, starting with our timer, Antoinette. Antoinette, can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what the timer does?
Hey, I am your timer for this evening. I'm glad to be so. I believe all these speeches are 5 to 7 minutes in length.
Well, actually, no, Pamela is giving a longer one. So it'll be green at 20, yellow at 23, red at 25. And the other two, I believe, are 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes, correct. Okay, so when the speaker begins, I will show the green light, especially for those who are 5 to 7 minutes. And at the midpoint will be the yellow, and at the end will be the red, and you have 30 seconds in which to wrap up. After that, you'll be clapped off the podium. And for the evaluators, will be 2 to 3 minutes. And the same thing applies with the green, yellow, and red, and table topics, 2 minutes. And when asked to do so, I will provide a report and as well as put it in the Zoom chat. Back to you, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you very much, Antoinette, and welcome back.
Thanks.
Dr. Andy Burns stepped in to be vote counter. What will you be doing as vote counter tonight, Andy?
You'll send your vote to me through the active thing, because I didn't activate the David special voting carriage. But anyone that we're having votes on, table topics, or in the role of speakers, just send your vote to me and I will report this at the end.
Okay, so send votes via private chat for this evening. Let's see, and what else do we? I think we have most of the other roles kind of blocked out or scaled back to try and make more time for speaking. This is a speakathon. This is a.
Excuse me.
Sure.
I'm supposed to be the evaluator for first speaker, but Toastmaster Carolina is going to do that, right?
Did Carolina arrive?
Yes.
Carolina is here. It's up to you, Toru. You volunteered to do it. If you would like to continue as the evaluator, that's great.
But she's supposed to do so. What do you think, Caroline?
Carolina,
It's
what's
okay,
your preference?
If you want to be the evaluator, you can do it, and I can take another role if is something available.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Thank you, Toru. Thank you, Carolina.
All right. Good to get you started, Toru. All right. So that means I think we can move straight on into the meat of our meeting. And actually, Angela, when you get a chance, could you make me a co-host so that I have superpowers as needed as we go through this? But let's move on to our formal speeches. We have, as our first speaker, Pamela Benjamin. She is giving the speech, vidIQ Next Level YouTube Research. This is Presentation Mastery Level 3. And this is a focus on using presentation software as part of the presentation as well. Pamela, please take it away.
Thank you, David. I'd like to know how many people have social media accounts, specifically YouTube. Can you put that into the chat? I would like to see who has a YouTube channel that they're building. Now, some of us use YouTube for a lot of different reasons. We might be doing it to get recipes, or you're watching your favorite sports person. I would like to know who is building a YouTube channel as a creator. So you can either watch YouTube or you can be a creator. Okay, Caroline doesn't have one, but okay, Lou is a creator. And this is really a speech to help creators. Now, just like if you're a Toastmaster, Jim Barber is a creator. So Graham has a business one, and David's a curator and a creator. If you are a Toastmaster who gives speeches, you need to come up with ideas that you're going to talk about. That's the same thing on YouTube. If you no longer are watching and you want to start putting videos on there, then you have to think about things to say or movies to show or songs to sing, whatever that might be. So there is a connection between speaking learning to speak well, presenting, and creating a YouTube channel. Now you might say, I'd like to be a YouTube creator. What should I talk about? Well, let me see, I'm a Toastmaster. How about if I put my speeches up there? Now, we might think about doing all these other obscure things that we really don't spend time with. But when you create a YouTube channel to post your individual things in on, speeches, topics, discussions, you should have some depth of knowledge. You should have some sort of theme to it. Now, how do you plan what those individual YouTube broadcasts will be about? Now, that is challenging, and it really depends if you want to grow your YouTube channel. If you want to grow your YouTube channel and you have an idea and you have a couple different things you want to put out there, you might want to specialize it. And this speech is for someone who is looking to build their online YouTube presence, whether it be speaking, whether it be their hobby, or whether it be their business. Now, what I want to talk about specifically is the use of hashtags and tags. Now, if you are not in social media very much, you might not know about those things. What they are tools or words that help us categorize things. Now, if you have a big closet with all your supplies in for cooking or for any sort of hobby, and if you throw everything in there, you might not be able to find things. Some people on YouTube, they really don't use tags on their different videos. And so the title is really what is going to attract people, or else the name of the YouTube. Now see right here, this thing right here. This is categorized by color types. You might not have a magic marker collection similar to this, but if you did, it would be super duper nice if it was this organized, wouldn't it? Now, if you want to organize your speeches or your videos on YouTube, I want to give you some ideas. First, let's start off on what a hashtag is. How many people do not know what a hashtag is? Raise your hand. Do not. Okay, Marty, Jim Barber doesn't know. Okay, a hashtag, now it's something that looks like that. That's the pound symbol, right? We all know what that is. But when it comes to social media, that little hashtag means it's that word, and then it's followed by whatever subject it might be. So if you're taking a walk on a spring day and you're going to put a picture of it on Facebook or Instagram, you might do hashtag, which is this symbol right here, this symbol, hashtag spring, hashtag walk. Now what happens is other people who want to see things about spring will get a whole list of people that are posting about spring that day. It's really, really helpful in other platforms. When you come to YouTube, they have something called tags. Now, what's the difference between a tag and a hashtag? Well, there's the word hash in front of tag, but other than that, what's the difference? The difference is we don't have the little pound sign there. When you go to YouTube, you find words and you group the words according to what you want to attract or what your video is about. What should I make that video about? Let me see. I could talk about running. But if I talk about running, what do I talk about running? Do I just want to do this for my own video? Is it just like a category? Is it just a catalog of my own experience? Or do I want to bring people to my channel? Oh, now there's an idea. I want to bring people to my channel and I want them to listen to my videos. And I would really like it if they clicked thumbs up. We like that video, Pam. So how do I do that? I'm going to find like-minded people with this thing right here, tags. vidIQ is the software that I've been learning over the last several months. vidIQ helps you research tags. Now, it depends what you put into the little bulb, into the input is what you get out. Now, if I put in cats, I'm going to get a variety of different cat tags. If I put in dogs, I'm going to get a lot of different dog tags. But going back to my analogy of I'm a runner, what should I talk about? vidIQ is something that is really, really nice. They give you the ability to reverse engineer. What does that mean? Does anyone have any idea what it means to reverse engineer? Put it in the comments. Let me see if I have any really super duper smart people that know how to reverse engineer an idea or something. So Marty Sandler, avoid social media. Okay, it's worse than the plague. Backwards. I'm going to think backwards about it, David. Anyone else know what that means? I am going to think about what my readers are interested in. Instead of saying, I took a spring walk, I am going to go to vidIQ and I'm going to reverse engineer my process. So instead of starting with this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm going to put out there, I'm going to find out what people are interested in. Oh, now there's an idea, isn't it? What are people interested now? What are the hot topics? When I was in derivatives, they had a saying, make the trend your friend. That means if you've got a powerful motion, you jump on and you ride that wave. That's what we're doing here with reverse engineering of these topics. What you do is you get a catalog and you get a set of ideas and you're able to research a specific idea. Now, here is some, I'm going to make this a little bigger here. Here is some of the ideas. If you go to Google, there are a lot of vendors that help you research tags. What you should specifically talk about if you're trying to grow your website. There's a lot of them. It can be a little bit overwhelming. Today I want to talk to you specifically about vidIQ, and I want to encourage you to start thinking about reverse engineering if you are a YouTube creator or if you want to become one. Let me see. Graham Carn says when you have something and reverse it is breaking it down to the components. And Andy Burns said 9-year-old boys, YouTube star of 2020. I guess he learned how to reverse engineer, right, Andy? But here is, okay, well, I guess he knows something. But let's go to the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard here of vidIQ. I'm going to make it big for a minute so we can all see these different parts of it. So see this right here. Can everyone see it? This right here is I'm going to put in a word. And that word is going to be speaking goals. Okay? Speaking goals. And we're going to look at what it looks like when I put speaking goals. When I'm on the When I'm on the dashboard, you see these little circles that I had bigger? I can also put my competitors. I'm using a channel that I haven't used very much. It's just one that goes with my regular Gmail. But these are different circles where I can put my competitors' names on. So speaker goals, and then it would suggest different people for that. So this is your first entry into vidIQ. You would click on this topic right here, and it is keyword search. You start that with a keyword search, and then this is the next screen that it brings up. You click that little blue button. Let me make that big again. You click that little blue button, and then you get this. Okay? There's a lot of information here, but this is all about looking at that keyword. This keyword will help you, will give you information. So it's a lot of detail. So right here, see how it says speaking skills right there? Speaking skills search volume is 13,000. Competition is very high. Now over here on the right, related keywords. Now this is where the research really helps. How to improve speaking skills, English speaking skills, learn English, how to improve my speaking skills, the fastest way to speaking skills. And these are different questions. So you can see how valuable it is if you want to become a YouTuber and you are creating a channel that people will come and listen to you. So that was one idea, speaking skills. So as you come up with a list of different ideas to put into it, then you're able to get a lot more out of it, outputs. And from there, you can start to develop a plan. So I'd like to have some interaction with some people about what topic you would do. So pretend you're a speaker and you're going to create a YouTube channel and you've just looked at what this tool says, okay? You just looked at it. I'm going to make it big again, and I'd like to have some people put their ideas in the chat on what their speech would be about, their recorded speech on that. I'm going to make it big in a minute, okay? Okay, now it's big. See that? So these are high. These are high. How to improve suggested volume or search volume 4,000, 2,000. Look at this one right here. Learn English 961,000. So let me see the chat on whose speech. Andy, manipulation, job skills, healthy living for Xers. Okay. Hints and tips for beginning speakers. All right. Who's going to put how to improve my speaking skills in English in their tag? Who's going to put that in there? I think that would be a really good way. How to build English speaking skills. Let's talk. That's 3,000. Up here in the bottom one, how to improve English speaking skills. It's a search of 122,000. News and investor website insights into metrics, web metrics. What does that mean, David? I'm not exactly sure. I know what you're talking about, but tell me exactly what you mean about that, what you mean.
It's my current day job as working for a company that evaluates companies, how well their websites perform against their competitors' websites. And so I did something recently about not a YouTube video. I just haven't posted it to YouTube, but I put it up on LinkedIn about investigating how the jobs website Fiverr is cashing in on this craze for NFTs, the digital artwork certificates. So they'll match you up with folks who will make an NFT for you.
Okay. So they're using, as what you're saying is they're using SEO, search engine optimization tools, similar.
You're in the ballpark. Yep.
Yeah. They get nichey when you come down to different types of software and websites, etc., like that. So I think this is really valuable. This tool is really valuable for Toastmasters who want to develop and be creators on YouTube. And Lou Brown, you said what would yours be? Let me see. Healthy living for Gen Xers. So what I was asking is, what would your speech title be if you were going to put out a YouTube channel on on learning to speak, what would you, after all those different ideas of when we research speaking skills, I'll put it back here and you can tell me what the topic of your speech would be. What tips? And I have to be in the speaker view for you to see those, right? So tell me what your speech would be about, okay? So we have real high numbers on English speaking skills and learn English, the fastest way to improve. What would your speech be about? How would you be enticing on there? Learn to speak real good. Okay, Jim. You can't read that slide. I know it's kind of tiny. I tried to make it really big. Learn to speak good speech in English. Okay. Okay. So I tried to break it down and make it super simple. So my point was that once you get started on one word, there's so many that come out of it. And if you get better at picking what your speech or what your video is mostly about, you will get a better output. And then with that, you will be able to build your creator as a creator. So how can I help you with this? Does anyone have is this something that someone can use who's a creator that I talked about? And how would it help you with what you were doing on the website? Jim, Barbara, you said that you're a creator. How would a tool like this help you?
You've already helped me tremendously. Frankly, I'd never heard of vidIQ. I'm brand new to the YouTube arena, YouTube channel arena, and I'm going to have to do an awful lot of studying over the next few hours. Thank you.
That was the free version, and so you can go up a little bit, but if you find it valuable. But just learning the free version is what I've been doing the last 6 to 8 months, and it's really been a journey. Who else is a creator that would use this, and tell me how you would use this to help you create and define what you're going to talk about on YouTube? So Angela as a creator wannabe. Okay, Angela, tell us how you are going to use this. Angela's a smart girl. She researches it. Angela, tell me how you're going to use this little tool.
I think I need to spend as many months as you have trying to figure it out, but it is very useful in knowing what people are interested in so that you can title it the correct way and attract more viewers. So thank you for sharing.
I think the hardest part about it was really there's so much involved with it. Just once you understand the dashboard and then inputting that one word out and then you get a list of other words out, I think that was the most complicated part of it for me. And I've really tried to help make this as simple as possible on how you can get a better YouTube experience and channel as a creator. Because as we all know, the internet's only getting more complicated every year. It's not getting simpler, okay? And David smiles because he's making money off the complexity of the YouTube, but on the internet. But with these tools, the whole reason I went into this detail is because with these tools, you can design your YouTube videos with keywords. Do you see how powerful it is? You can design your YouTube videos before you make them if you research ahead of time. So that is what I really wanted to encourage people about, because as I've been working with this tool, it's really helped me to think more about reverse engineering what I'm going to put on YouTube and to sit down and make a process of really understanding what people are listening to and what was really driving the search engines. And so when I'm able to do that, I think in the long run, I'll be better at building my YouTube presence. Thank you very much.
Now I have to find the unmute button. Most complicated technology that we deal with every week. Thank you very much, Pamela, for that great speech. Sounds like you've given a few people some tools that they'll want to find out more about. Our second speaker this evening, Angela Heath, is practicing for the webinar contest, which will be held at the EVVCon event, being advertised right over here. No, or is it over there? It's over there. Check it out at evvv.con and be sure that you come to cheer on Angela. But tonight she is practicing her speech for 5 to 7 minutes. Live to be 100. Who says we don't set goals in this organization? Angela Heath.
Toastmasters and guests, who wants to live to be 100? Raise your hand. Let me see your face. If you want to live to be 100, not as many people are raising their hand. And I know why, because you're thinking, Angela, if I live to be 100, I may not have any friends. I may not have anything to do. And I may not even have any teeth to enjoy my food. Well, what if I told you there is a way to live to be 100 and healthy and happy? The way we do this, we're playing a game, and I need you to come alive in chat and share your responses. I've got a special treat. Those of you who win this game, at the end of my presentation, I am going to give you a really great prize. Let's get started. Living to be 100. We really need to have a good understanding about what that entails. So our first question is, if there are 3 women, they're 5 feet, 5 inches, 1A is 114 pounds, B, 150 pounds, or C, 179 pounds. Which one of these women would be more likely to live to 100? Use your chat, put A, B, or C. Graham says 150 pounds. Adrian says 114. Many of you are saying 114, and you are correct. Now, when I first looked at this information, I thought 114 seemed like a skeleton to me. But actually, research shows that if we are not overeating and we are slender, we're more likely to live to see 100 and be healthy. Now, what about this scenario? You've got these 2 gentlemen. We'll call the one Mr. Lazy Pants. He's there taking a nap in the middle of the day at work. We have Mr. Go-Getter. He is hustling. He is grinding. His boss loves him. Which one of these gentlemen do you think would be more likely to see 100? Put your vote in chat. Would it be Lazy Pants or would it be Go-Getter? Carolina says lazy pants, lazy pants. You guys believe that it's lazy pants. You must have heard this presentation before. You are correct. It is lazy pants. Let me tell you why. In nations where people take siestas, naps during the middle of the day, they actually have less heart disease. Now, here's a bonus question for all of you. This one is easy. Which one of these nations has the most centenarians? Is it Australia, Japan, or USA? Japan, 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 hands down. The reason why Japan has the most centenarians is because they live this lifestyle that I'm challenging you to adopt. It's coming up in just a moment. Your final question, this is yes or no. Do you think that angry people are likely to live to be 100? People who are shouting and screaming about everything that happens. They're just so upset. I see that Rick says, no way. Andre says, no. The no's are coming in and you're absolutely correct. Carolina, no way. They will not, in most instances, live to be 100. When you get angry and you're shouting and screaming and all of that, you're just raising your blood pressure up and you're impacting your heart. Now, this is part of a program called New Start. Each one of these letters represents something you need to understand. Very simple. N, nutrition. Eat more raw fruits and vegetables every day. Stay away from processed foods. E, exercise. You only need 30 minutes a day. You don't even have to pay for expensive equipment. Go outside and walk. W for water. 1/2 of your body weight in ounces is sufficient. S for sunlight. 15 minutes of sunlight a day makes your body manufacture its own vitamin D. T for temperance. Please calm down. It's not worth the stress. Air. Breathe in, breathe out deeply. Your lungs will appreciate it. R is for rest. If you're burning the candle at both ends, it's not good. And T for trust. 80% of the things that you're concerned about will never happen. So don't worry. Now, I hear some of you saying, does this actually happen? And it does. There are 5 nations: Japan, Italy, Costa Rica, Greece, and the good old USA, where you can find these blue zones. People are living to 100 and they're healthy and they are happy. But there are only 1 city in each one of these countries. So if you're ready to pack your bags and go to a blue zone, just put in chat more and I will send you the information about where you can go. Now listen, you don't have to tackle all of this at the same time, but you can do it. Just take 1 step at a time. New Start is a pretty simple way to live your life. And listen, here's the surprise. When you live to be 100 and you are happy and you are healthy, this is what will happen. I'm coming to your birthday party and I'm bringing tickets to Hawaii for you and all of your 100-year-old friends. So now raise your hands high. Who wants to live to 100? Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Angela. I was too busy raising my hands. Sounds like fun. Our third speaker of the evening, Trisha Smith, has been working through the visionary communication path, and she is going to be continuing a presentation that we've heard some of before from her. This is her business development plan for the all natural care pantry gifts business. You've heard a little bit of it before, but she's further developing her business vision tonight. Trisha, you are on.
I'm going to piggyback off of Angela. I love her what she was saying, healthy lifestyle. That is precursor to so many things. Lifestyle goes along with all of our choices with how we live our lives, what we eat, how well we drink purified water, all of those good things. My business, as I described with part 1 of my speech with Visionary Communications, level 5, my vision, all natural care pantry gift baskets started in 1993. It is a hobby business. It's still a hobby business. I have taken my business and provided products at vendor shows within the community, in organizations, put my products in existing businesses, brick and mortar, which are almost non-existent nowadays. And I've done some YouTubes to promote healthy lifestyles. So I'm going to tell you how I'm going to develop this again and hopefully do more than just have a hobby business. Why do I just have a hobby business? Because I also have a career that takes up a lot of my time and money. Those are my biggest barriers. So if I didn't have to worry about those things. I can pretend that they're not issues for me, and I can move forward and make progress and make this dream more of a reality and develop my business. So my next steps, I use the tools that were provided with Toastmasters as part of this path, backed up because my business has been in progress for many years, but it has not been developed more than what it has been practiced as all of these years. So to get it to the next step in terms of the online arena, I have had an online business before, back in 1917, pre-COVID, but I was still working full-time in my career, as I still do. So guess what? I didn't have a lot of time to put into it. So it did not get developed any more than what it is now. So what I did is I've used the idea map. I showed the plan. I did the worksheets. I'm going to show some information that goes along with that to remind everyone what my vision is. Instead of just a website, I want to have a membership website. I'm a tea guru, so I do a lot of gardening this time of the year. Not quite, maybe May. We start in May. Herbs, teas, spices. It's been a part of my life. I've been a real environmentalist for as long as I've had this business as well. I've tried to replace my personal care products that I use for me and my family with what I make myself with essential oils. Is that what I market? No, they've been more wholesale products that are resale. I've had baskets. They've become boxes and containers. And I see other ideas along with that. I have done so much research. I have so much information. The plan has been in place. I keep adding to my information. I've done a lot of research with the websites that are already out there. There's DIY gift basket businesses. There's similar ideas out there that are very focused on one part of what my plan is. So my plan is to go bigger and incorporate other people that have the same like-minded mindset in terms of their lifestyle and how they want to live healthier lives. I've seen and paid attention to the business development of what's going on with Martha Stewart and her apple harvest business developments. I'd love to have one of those kind of businesses. Those kinds of concepts. So I want to take my ideas and develop them more. Let me back up to my idea worksheet. I still want to promote natural, healthy personal care and eco-cleaning products. Recycled paper products goes along with who uses paper nowadays? We do everything electronic, right? Paper is not an environmental concept either, but recycled paper is, and recycled packaging. I've done a ton of research. I need to take my plan and develop it. I have a business plan. I need to tweak it so that it meets today's needs and the markets of today. Funding is definitely a concern. So I'm researching that piece right now. My business has paid for its own expenses. That's as far as it's gotten. So I need to take it to the next step. A business team, that would be great to have some help to get this skyrocketing and catapulted to where it needs to be to make more progress. And the marketing piece is huge. Thank you, Pamela. I am right there. I need a lot more education and experience and expertise in that part, because if you don't have the marketing in place, the same thing will happen. It will not develop and make progress. So to break this down even further, here's the vision plan. Same concept: to provide and promote natural, healthy living personal care products, eco-cleaning products, recycled paper products. I even have a first aid, healthy, natural first aid kit available. Teas, educating people on lifestyle, healthy living. I'm a health coach, so putting all those things into perspective, but doing it with a bunch of like-minded professionals that can provide webinars with the membership website, and having just a nice community group of people that can build upon each other. Marketing, the funding, business team, and the development of the business. You can see this being repeated here as the goals, common goals that I still have. Vision's broken up short-term, medium-term, long-term goals. With all of those things in place, a lot of affiliate marketing seems to be a really good way to market on the websites, and many businesses have those options. Taking the plan, incorporating funding sources, seeing what else is out there and available, doing some more research, and just get it going. So for me, my biggest need is to keep this going, get the momentum going, use all my ideas, and reconnect with people so that I can make it happen. Live it as if it's going to happen so I can see the progress, so it can become a reality and not just on my bucket list. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for sharing your vision with us, Trisha. May we have a timers report, please? And timer, did everybody qualify, first of all?
Yes, everyone qualified. Pamela at 21.12 minutes, Angela at 6:48, and Trisha at 7:09 minutes.
Very good. So everybody please vote. Send a private chat message to vote counter Andrew Byrne. And let's see, where are we on time? Well, I think we have time for a brief table topics session. Maybe just 3 table topics participants, Madam Topics Master. Are you speaking, Marianne? Because we're not hearing you yet.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Table Topics. Tonight, I'm going to proceed with showing pictures. The saying goes, everybody has a story, and telling stories is a very important thing. So Table Topics is a way we develop our impromptu speaking skills. We get 1 to 2 minutes to tell our story. So storytelling has been used from the beginning of time as a form of communication and education. It could help you get a job. It could help you get other kinds of opportunities. So good speakers are compelling, funny. They have a lot of different qualities. So I'd like you to tell me a little story about a particular picture. Our first Table Topics volunteer that I'm volunteering will be Lou. Okay. Do you see this picture?
I do.
Tell me a story, sir.
Just last week, Madam Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters, and guests, I don't believe we have any guests. I thought I traveled back in time. You see, I was walking home from a Toastmasters meeting when I saw this gentleman coming out of a window with what looked like a 1980s computer monitor. At least I didn't see anything other than a monitor. And I was perplexed because I automatically assumed he was stealing the monitor because of his dark clothes and the obvious fact that he was coming out of a window. I called 911 and reported it, and they immediately sent the cops to the scene. You see, he got his legs stuck on something inside the house, so he wasn't able to come fully out and then run away. So the cops made it there in time. And Marianne, sorry, I don't see the timer, so you may have to blink or wave when, when the timing kicks in. However, I was shocked and embarrassed to find out that no, that actually is the homeowner. You see, his front door to his apartment was glued shut by his prankster neighbor, so he was unable to get outside his apartment through the front door. And at the same time, while he was on a Zoom call,
1.5 minutes.
Thank you, Antoinette, applying for a job as a modern day technology expert, he realized, oh my God, I'm not going to get this job if I'm showing 1980s technology. They're going to think I don't know anything what I'm talking about. Fortunately, while he was on that job interview, he did have a filter that showed him wearing a suit. So he thought, you know what, let me just dress casually because I have this awesome filter on.
2 minutes.
End of the day, thank you, Antoinette. End of the day, I was completely embarrassed and shocked to know that this was actually the person who lived in the apartment. He was simply taking some old tech out of his apartment so that he was not embarrassed himself as he was applying for a job, all while wearing some casual clothes because he did not need to dress for that job interview. Back to you, Topics Master.
Well, thank you, President Lou. Next, I'd like to invite our guest, Adrian, to tell us a story.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests. This story is just so awesome. This picture reminds me of my neighbor. We were best friends. We grew up together, and she always used to take me and read to me. And she would sit there with her little bear. You can't see me in the photo, but I'm actually the one that's taking the picture. And I would always have my little Barbie doll with me. And she would read and engage this bear as it was her best friend ever in life. You see, her story was so vivid and so imaginative. Can you see how focused she is on the book? Even the bear is paying attention just as much as I am to her speaking. This little girl back then, she is why I'm here today to speak with Toastmasters. She read that story with so much energy and life, and it was so exciting that I actually decided I needed to be more comfortable with reciting poems, reading stories, using my imagination to travel the world and to express my story to people like you. It is through experiences like this that we get to tell our story to others around the world. And because of the unique qualities each one of us bring to each other, we experience a little piece of our world, just like I'm sharing this photo with you guys. So when I come here, it's exciting for me to hear all the stories that we all bring, individually and collectively, because it is stories like that that created Toastmasters, that brought us all together tonight, here today for this experience. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Adrian. And boy, after hearing that, I hope you become a member. That was pretty exciting. Now we have time for one more. And I will ask Mr. Andrei Smolenko to tell me a story.
Thank you very much, Madam Topics Master. It looks like you know me so well, and you put up this picture exactly for my story. Clearly, probably for most of us looking at this picture, we could see a family breakup. On the other hand, you could probably see two people just engaged in play. Just a few weeks ago, I happened to pass one of the performances on the streets of Manchester in England. This is where I live. There was a pantomime. It was a similar setting, but it was other way around. A man pretended that he was talking loudly to a woman, and she was really, really upset. And that picture somehow stuck into my mind. And looking at what I can see at this picture now, I can tell that table has been reversed. A poor little fellow who turned around, he couldn't keep up with all that pressure from that mistress. The lady raised up her hands, and clearly she's a dominating figure. A poor little fellow who turned around, and you could really, really feel the shame, that misery inside of him, but it's not going to last forever. Poor little fellow, I want you to remember one thing, and one thing only. One day, that table will be turned around. Be brave and keep on going. Back to you, Madam Topics Master.
Wow, I'm sure glad I had that slide for you. Nice job tonight. I will ask the timer if all of our contestants qualified.
Sure, all that. Lou came in at 228, Adrian at 147, and the last table topic person 145.
Can you vote for your favorite table topics contestant tonight and send it to private chat to Andrew Byrne? Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right, wonderful. Razzle dazzle table topics tonight. Let's move on to what is often termed the most important part of the meeting, except for all the other most important parts of the meeting, which is where we hear from our evaluators. Our evaluation portion of the meeting will be led by our general evaluator, Jim Barber.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Everybody here is an experienced Toastmaster, so I won't bother explaining the purpose of evaluations. Let's just simply move right into it. Our first speaker this evening was Pamela Benjamin, and we are honored to have evaluating Pamela's presentation our newest member of online presenters, Toru Maruyama. So please help me welcome evaluating Pamela Benjamin, Toru Maruyama.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction. And thank you for your informative and educational speech, Toastmaster Pamela Benjamin. I learned a lot from your speech, and I'm sure so did all the members of this club. And let me give you 3 excellent points and 1 suggestions. First, your structure. The speech was well prepared, well organized, and well executed, using original, understandable slides which enhanced the understanding of the listeners. So in that way, you met the purpose of the project very well, using the slides effectively. Second, the topics fitted to the interest and demand of the members of this club, especially for those trying to be a unique YouTuber or begin to be a creator in YouTube. Me too. So I learned a lot. I'm planning to create my own account in YouTube, so it's a great hint and advice for me. And the third point I like was spontaneity. I like your speaking style, which you collaborate with the listeners by creating a question and answer session in between, in very natural and spontaneous manner. And this is far better than one-way lecture style presentation. You did so well, so naturally. I felt very, very professional.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
So let me give you one suggestion. It might be better if you demonstrate how you create your own account using this technique, so it will be so that your presentation be more persuasive. So I'm looking forward, if I could, to listening to your revised version of this presentation in the near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toru. Our second presenter this evening was Angela Heath, practicing her webinar presentation. And evaluating Angela this evening, we are privileged to have coming the voice of the future, Graham Cairns. Please help me welcome Graham Cairns.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. And Antoinette, can I have lights at 2, 2.5, and 3? I'll be doing a short evaluation and then calling on other people. First up, let me begin by saying, well done, Angela. This was a really good presentation. And I know that's, sort of sucky language, really good, but it actually was really good. And I mean that in the general sense of the word good, not just fine or well done, good as in better than, opposite to bad. There was a really fine use of chat here tonight. And one of the difficulties with webinars is trying to get involvement from participants. I remember when we first had a webinar presented to us, just after this club began, and it was really difficult to learn how to use that interaction. You did that in an exemplary fashion tonight, so I commend you on that. I also commend the use of the acronym New Start: nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temper, air, rest, and trust. You'll note, though, that I made a minor change to your acronym. Yours originally was nutrition, exercise, water, sunlight, temperance, air, rest, and trust. Now, temperance is the second definition of temperance, is the quality of moderation or self-restraint, and that's, I suspect, what you were using. But the primary definition of temperance is to abstain from alcohol. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, if I'm going to have to be a teetotaler to live to be 100, I don't want to live to be 100. So use temper rather than temperance. Another suggestion that I would make that would make this resonate better with an international audience, and this will be being presented to an international audience through it's not VTC anymore, what is it, EVVCon, use metric equivalents. I had no idea. I was trying to convert what is 150 pounds, and I worked that out to be under 70 kilos. In fact, it's over 70 kilos. So use metric conversions so that the 90% of the world who don't use, actually 95% of the world that don't use your measurements will know what we're talking about. But I love the enthusiasm. I love the call to action at the end. That worked really well. So I've now got a couple of minutes to ask for general observations from members of the audience. Please be brief and succinct. And if you can come up with something specific for Angela that you really liked or that you'd like to improve, please make a suggestion. Anyone? Show of hands. Andy.
She closed the loop on her talk very well. And I thought that was very nice that she had the opening and then she closed it right up at the end. And I thought it was very nice.
Yep. All right. Jim.
Nothing to improve on, but I really liked the way Angela handled the unexpected questions. Almost everybody gave the correct answer. That didn't throw her at all. She just went with the flow. I liked that.
Fabulous. Anybody else? Yes, Andre.
I would like to see maybe one or two real role models who are about hundreds and more years old, big smiley faces, wrinkly but happy.
Yep, that's a good observation. Anyone else? Pamela, is that a hand? Yes.
I thought the board that she was going across, they had really tiny little words on it. So I would take the words out and then I would, so you don't have a lot of real estate there because you're there and then the board's here, but the board is really squished in with your font. So I would just take all the words off your font and then I would put lazy pants and go getter dude. And I would make it look like, you know, I think the sleepy guy was good and go getter guy was good. So I would just put bigger, I would put bigger fonts on it or something. I don't know, but I would play with that.
Thank you. All right, some observations there for you, Angela, before your next presentation, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. I will be there at EVVCon for the webinar competition, and I reckon, as somebody has already said in the chat, that you're on a winner with this one. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Graham. Our third presenter this evening was Trisha Smith, and we have evaluating Trisha Rick Durling. So please help me welcome evaluating Trisha's presentation, Rick Durling.
Trisha, I did enjoy your speech a lot. You have a business plan that has a huge amount of elements to it. And what I really liked about what you did tonight is you showed your enthusiasm for some of those elements. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about focusing on in a minute. Another item that I really, really enjoyed about your speech is you did have a lot of animation. But just perhaps to help you a little bit, work on your facial expressions. It's something I've been working on for a long time, is not presenting with a neutral face, because your face tells a ton about what you are feeling. Using your facial muscles and bringing that intensity forward is something you're doing. All I'm asking you to consider is do a little bit more. Now, for a challenge to you, I'm going to offer up an idea. The idea is, while you did intend to do this as an impromptu speech, there is still an opportunity for you to mess around with how you give something like this when you are doing an impromptu speech. As a challenge, consider what you really are enthused about in your business plan, and make sure you focus on those elements when you're presenting your business plan. What that does is it connects those items that you have actually already used effectively in today's speech to your topic and what you're telling everybody. And that enthusiasm will lead to your facial muscles, your gestures, the energy that you're putting into this. All of that will come shining through. Now, a second challenge to you is another way to think about giving this. You mentioned in your speech that one of the things that you're going to have to work on is potentially getting members to sign up for this. I'm going to change the name member to investors and sponsors, people who will help you make this dream come to life. What I'm suggesting to you is give thought to taking those elements that you have and turning them around to bring forward the message you want to deliver to those people. What's in it for them? Change the speech around to deliver that kind of a thing. And that will help change this entire presentation into something that will help you market your plan and your ideas. Again, I want to compliment you. You bring a lot of energy. You obviously have passion for your particular business that you're building here. I think you have an opportunity to take that passion and the skills you possess already as a speaker and absolutely grow this into an absolutely marvelous business plan that you can present. Not only show the things that you're passionate about, but equally important, help people learn why to invest in what you are trying to produce. Thank you. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Rick. Madam Timer, I believe I saw that our first and third speakers qualified, but Graham did not. However, Graham was a round robin presentation, so I'm going to exert my authority.
So at 3:04, Graham at 3 minutes 59 seconds, and Rick at 3 minutes 15 seconds.
Cool, thank you. I'm going to exert my authority as general evaluator to declare that all three evaluators are eligible for voting. So because Graham's was round robin, so please pass your votes for your favorite evaluator this evening to our vote counter, Andy Byrne. And while you are doing that, I will briefly evaluate our meeting. Our meeting was chaotic. That's not a criticism, it's simply an observation. That's how it went. However, consequently, my kudos are to the people who tried to make it less chaotic, starting with Toru, who is a brand new member, but stepped right up and said, of course, I'll evaluate if you need me. So he was our evaluator. Thank you, Toru. Rick Durling, of course, stepped up and said, I'll evaluate. We're used to Rick doing that. But again, thank you, Rick. Carolina was flexible. She showed up and she didn't cause a problem. She said, okay, then not a problem. I'll evaluate some other time. I'll help some other way. Pamela was prepared to do a 5 to 7 minute speech, but she saw that we had the time, so she lengthened her speech. And David, through all this, as the Toastmaster today, didn't have a heart attack while he was trying to keep everything in control. So kudos to everybody for making things a little bit less chaotic. And with that, I return control to our Toastmaster of the day, David F. Carr.
All right, very cool. It's 8:59. Our meeting's supposed to stop at 9. So cutting it as close as we can. I didn't even have to tell Jim, try and make it quick. He just made it quick. Dr. Andy Byrne, do you have some winners for us?
I do, but I want to put a caveat that there weren't a lot of people voting. So there are winners, but that's based on low turnout, as often happens in politics. The side that has a low turnout often doesn't win.
You got to
All
vote,
right.
vote.
So speaker is Pam, is the winner. The table topics is Adriana Williams. The evaluator is Graham Carnes.
Very wonderful. Let's turn it back to our president, Lou Brown, to wrap things up.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. And yes, I echo what Jim said. Wow. I mean, I know we were a little chaotic coming into the meeting, and kudos to everyone for pulling it together, and wow, and really going again up against the end. I was trying to multitask because I think we didn't have time for like all the different reports. Is that correct, Jim? I'm not sure if I missed them, which is fine because it's 8 o'clock.
We didn't have them, so there was nothing to report.
Yeah, for this
Oh, you're right.
format, we
Okay.
dropped some of those
Woo.
Watcher and some of the other
This
things.
is why I don't want to live to 100. My memory goes right around how
And
old
we
I
even
am
dropped
right
our
now.
counter, which I'm eternally grateful for.
Yeah, good point. Okay, well,
Sometimes you
Adrian,
do
you are, although you are a former member, you're kind of a guest to some of our newer members, certainly. Would you like to share any reflections on your meeting today? I see a big bright smile on your face. Maybe there's some new things that you've seen or noticed that you'd like to share some more info with us.
Yeah, I love the images. That was something I haven't seen, and that was very creative to be in an online space. I am in Miami. I'm here. I took a break off during COVID and just, I think I burnt myself out. I was moving way too fast and I burnt out. And so now I'm glad to be back and to work towards my goal that I didn't finish with all the burnout. But I enjoyed, what I love about this club is the precision of how smooth it runs. Even with all the adjustments, it still was within the hour and 15 minutes, which was amazing. And that, Angela, you did a great job with that animation and the presentation. I thought that was really creative. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to step my skills up because I definitely don't know how to do any of that. So that was really good. And I've watched a lot of webinars. And so that was really great that you did that. And so thank you guys for having me. I look forward to joining back with the club and getting involved. And so thank you for welcoming me.
Awesome, thank you. And you know, it's interesting for, I'm gonna say all of us, at least most of us, this was actually our relief from COVID. You know, being able to meet with each other each week and kind of take that brain break, everything that was going on. So again, nice to see you again.
Yes.
Our VPM, Marianne Grady and or Pamela will be reaching out to you since it sounds like you would like to join us again, which is awesome news. So happy to hear that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm ready to pay.
Oh, wow, even better. Okay. Which, good segue into the dues period for those folks who have not yet renewed, or for our members who are watching the replay here and who have not yet renewed. We have until April 30th to do that. Again, just like with Adrian, feel free to reach out to Marianne or Pamela, or perhaps either of them may be reaching out to you in advance. And thank you for that, for giving consideration to continuing being part of our Toastmaster family. I don't have any other particular announcement, so unless anyone else has something that's critical for purposes of the recording, feel free to raise your hand now, or else I will officially call the meeting to a close and ask somebody, since I am not the host, to end the